SOKFC, IBM, Miller Lite, Piggly Wiggly CK, at Walmart and at Walgreens, Toys R Us and Best Buy, Supercuts, Farm and Fleet, Halliburton, BP, Osco, Dollar Tree, Starbucks, Johnny Rockets, Shell, Sears, and Ron Hertz, US Air, J. Crew, Pizza Hut, Gap, Six Flags, Frigidaire, eBay, LensCrafters, Standard, Amazon, Subway, Disneyland, MTV, Microsoft, Pick and Save.
You know that the official story of what happened on September 11th was a lie. There are many ways you can be sure that the official story is a lie. You can examine the collapse of the World Trade Center 7, or you can examine the collapse of the Twin Towers, or you can examine the incredible lack of military response. The demolition of the World Trade Center buildings is the proof. The buildings were undeniably destroyed by controlled demolition, and Al-Qaeda had no ability to pull off anything like that. Something far more powerful had to be responsible. But who could they be, and how did they do it? Instead of waiting for a real investigation, let's see what we can discover by putting the pieces together ourselves. There were many anomalies surrounding the September 11th attacks, and acknowledging that they debunk the official story is only one part of understanding them. We can learn a great deal more about 9/11 by looking at those anomalies and analyzing why they are there. It was reported by many sources that a great deal of stock was traded with apparent foreknowledge of September 11, with massive put options placed on many companies impacted by the attacks. A put option is a contract where the holder of a stock pays a potential buyer for the option to sell the stock at its current price within a future period. A stockholder buys a put option essentially betting that the stock price will fall. A call option is the opposite. The purchaser of a stock pays a potential seller for the option betting that the stock price will rise. The put-call ratio measures how much people are betting a stock price will fall over how much they're betting it will rise. A high put-call ratio means more people are betting the value will drop. In the week prior to September 11th, many very strange stock trades took place. There were surges in purchases of put options on stocks of reinsurance companies expected to pay out billions to cover losses from the attack, and in financial services companies hurt by the attack, such as Morgan Stanley, which occupied 22 floors of the North Tower. 5-year U.S. Treasury notes were purchased in abnormally high volumes before the attack, and their buyers were rewarded with sharp increases in their value following the attack. But most of all, there were enormous spikes in the purchase of put options on several airlines, with the greatest deviations on United Airlines and American Airlines, the two airlines used in the attacks, even though there was no news that week that might have triggered it. The very airlines used on 9/11. Think about it. Who would know such a detail? It's a trivial detail. If you were plotting a hijacking, how much thought would you put into your choice of airline? Whoever was doing this insider trading had to be such close insiders as to know such very specific details of the plot as to know exactly which airlines would be used in the attack. The investigation into the insider trading, according to the British newspaper The Telegraph, was the biggest ever attempt to hunt down and smash apart a secretive financial network. Yet the investigation concluded, according to the 9/11 Commission, that each and every suspicious trade was totally innocuous, stating simply that, quote, exhaustive investigations by the SEC, FBI, and other agencies have uncovered no evidence that anyone with advanced knowledge of the attacks profited through securities transactions. They sourced this incredible statement with a single footnote. They did not give any details, like which trades were investigated, who placed the trades, or what might have motivated the trades. Only 2 instances were explained at all, and in these the government named no names. In one case, the government explained that the spike in American trades were due to an unnamed newsletter issued on September 9th. It begs the question, what was the publication, and what was the basis for its recommendation? Strangely, that information was omitted. The other example was their explanation for the United Trades. The footnote said, a single U.S.-based institutional investor with no conceivable ties to Al-Qaeda purchased 95% of the UAL puts on September 6 as part of a trading strategy. Who is this investor, and how is the Commission sure he has no ties to Al-Qaeda? Even if it's true, having no ties to Al-Qaeda does not mean having no ties to 9/11. The demolition of the World Trade Center proves that. And what was the basis of this trading strategy? The Commission's explanation of the apparent insider trading is as inadequate as its explanation for everything else. So let's try it ourselves. Can we prove that insider trading took place based on foreknowledge of 9/11? An academic paper published in April 2004 by Alan Poteshman of the University of Illinois delivered the scathing assertion that the unusual trades were really not that unusual. The paper does this by showing that it is typical for put-call ratios to be far from the average, and by showing that the put options were not placed in the most profitable way. However, this paper is misleading for 3 reasons. First, the paper ignores the basic criteria for insider trading. Unusual trading volume is just one of 5 signs of insider trading. What makes the trades prior to 9/11 so suspicious is that the abnormalities occurred specifically on stocks affected by 9/11. Just think about it. No matter how normal it is for there to be a high put-call ratio on any particular company, what are the odds that such ratios would occur only on companies affected by 9/11, particularly on the airlines used